Hello. As you may know, I made another attempt a couple weeks ago at writing the best song in the world. And today we're going to discover if that song was in fact the best song in the world or not. And we're also going to try to answer the very important question of how the heck do I write lyrics? This is The Joy of Making Music, and I'm your host, Lucas Murray. So let's start with a look at how I made possibly the best song in the world. First things first, I went mining through old voice memo ideas. I recommend you keep voice memos if you're doing any kind of creative endeavor. You never know when inspiration is going to hit, so be ready to capture fresh ideas as they come. You also never know when you will have promised the internet to make the best song in the world and are suddenly facing writer's block and need an idea fast. So I found this little nugget right here from about a year ago.
Well, just lucky, I guess. Just looking around this pretty room that you just left.
Not a bad start, but I still had to flesh it out into a full song. So I sat outside with a guitar in my hand and came up with some sections, chords, melody, and lyrics. I made sure to finish the song before I even started recording for two reasons. One, some wise person once said that a good song can be performed on a single instrument with a single voice, and you can still hear that it is a good song. And the second reason is that the world of the digital audio workstation can become a seductive black hole of sonic possibility. So finishing a song away from the DAW is always a good idea to avoid wasting time. So once I had my song fleshed out, I pulled a voice memo of me playing the full song into Logic and mapped the tempo from that recording to get an idea of what the overall tempo should be. Then I went back to the handy-dandy Electron cycles to build the groove first. Even if I ended up replacing the drums later on, this gave me a nice, ever so slightly swung groove to record to, which would help me give the right performance when I was recording the other parts. Armed with my groove, I then recorded some fingerstyle acoustic guitar, then some bass, then I recorded the vocals.
Just my type to talk all night.
Then I added some nice smooth Wurlitzer chords. Then some cool pluckety guitar grooves.
Well, just lucky, I guess.
Then a variety of percussion. Then a bit more guitar. Then I got Olivia to sing some nice, pretty background harmony. Then I slapped it with a quick mix, and at that point, we pretty much had ourselves a song.
Spin me some stories now. Tell the angels how you are the lilies of the field, and I just pull the plow.
Now, before we find out if this is the best song in the world or not, I want to dive a little deeper into how I think about writing lyrics in hopes that it may demystify for you the act of lyric writing. Now, I'm not saying these were the best lyrics in the world, or are they? But I do think they are pretty good. So here are some ideas that I think about when I'm writing lyrics that may help you write better lyrics yourself. 1. Above all, it has to sound good. This is almost too stupid to say, but I notice with myself and others that because lyrics are words, we sometimes get too hung up on the meaning of those words and sacrifice sounding good for what you think has good meaning. 2. It doesn't matter if the audience doesn't get your lyrics. Music is entirely subjective, and audiences will misinterpret your lyrics to make them meaningful to their own experience. This is not a problem. It actually offers you freedom to let go of any kind of anxiety you might have that your audience will understand you or not. Some people will pick up on what you're putting down, and they might like it, or they might not. Others will not pick up what you're putting down, and they still might like it, or not like it. 3. Be specific. Try not to write something like, "I feel so sad." I'm sorry, but like literally nobody cares except your mom. Instead, write about how the wall looked when you were feeling sad, or how you haven't watered the plants or done the dishes in 2 weeks. That tells me you're sad, but in a way that is much more vivid and specific, and it draws me into the situation you're describing. It also capitalizes on the previous idea that audiences will misinterpret your lyrics. Describe things in vivid language so that audiences can personalize your song and relate it to their own lives. 4. Don't be afraid of everyday language. Sometimes in a song, we try to use more flowery language because we think these feelings I'm trying to communicate are so important that I need to use important words. But think about the times when you or anyone else was in an extremely emotional state. You don't suddenly start using SAT words to get your point across. If anything, you may even use simpler, more direct language, and the emotional content comes from how you say those words. 5. Pay special attention to your first line. You can pack so much information in a first line that tells the listener what kind of song this is going to be and what kind of lyrical and emotional hands they are in. If you come out of the gate with something boring or cliche, it tells me I might not need to listen too closely to the rest of these lyrics. But if you surprise me or say something vivid or unique, I want to hear more. And finally, 6. Abandon these guidelines if you need. I'll say this repeatedly about any of the advice I give here, but toss it out the window if it doesn't serve you. These are good principles to remember if you need them, but if you write something that sounds good and feels good to you, then it is good, even if it breaks any rules you're trying to follow. Okay, and now it's the moment I know you've all been waiting for. We're going to the polls, where we learn once and for all whether this is the best song in the world or not. Let's see, we got 12% yes, 25% no, and 62% maybe. You know what? I accept this. I feel that this is a somewhat accurate response to the quality of this song, coming from some of my closest friends who are afraid to tell me the truth. And you know what this means? It means I, a mere mortal man, must try again to write the best song in the world. I don't know if I can do it, but I do know with 100% certainty that the best song in the world can only be written by a real human. Which brings me to the topic of this week's hater time. AI music sucks. The only people who benefit from AI music are the greedy tech companies who own the AI models, and greedy streamers and labels who want to churn out AI slop and pretend it's real music. Spotify, for instance, is not a music company. It's a tech company. They don't care about music. They care about keeping you hooked, mining your data, and maximizing profits by paying real artists as little as possible. And what's the easiest way to do that? To get rid of the human artists entirely. They've already been accused of doing this for over a year with AI-generated lo-fi instrumental music, but recently they went a step beyond and have been actively promoting on their playlists a horrible, shallow, soulless, pandering regurgitation of 70s folk rock tropes in the form of an AI band called the Velvet Sundown. Now, in addition to the morally dubious business of taking away already paltry streaming revenue from real humans who, learned how to play instruments, write songs, and sing, and funneling that money towards charlatans who write prompts into an AI model, this music itself just fully sucks. It is an affront to anyone with a fully functioning temporal lobe. And honestly, you should be ashamed of yourself if you like it. And the hacks behind Velvet Sundown and the parasites over at Spotify are far from the only bad actors here. The once great producer Timbaland recently launched his first AI artist named Tata. Tata? More like caca. Sounds like So what do? We make music. And we support real artists. We say, them robots. I'm a man. And here's the thing. In the somewhat likely scenario that AI models get really good at making music, we humans are still going to want to make our own music. Because music isn't just about reaching some end result. The process of making music is a beautiful end in itself. To allow yourself to make music is to carve out your own piece of paradise, where you can say and do anything you want. It is your human birthright to go to that place and discover what moves you and what you are capable of. So, I'm going to go forth and attempt once more to write the best song in the world. Against my better judgment, I'm once again giving myself 1 week to complete this task. I do invite you to follow along, like and subscribe, please. And if you're so inclined, to try to write your own best song in the world. If you'd like to join me on this journey in any form or fashion, please shoot me an email or a DM and we can do it together. Thank you. See you later.